Hi, in this video we shall see a demonstration of the NJ-SCADA package. So first of all, what you see here is a tag path configuration file as explained in the introduction section. This defines the ignition tags that have to be used in displaying onto the remote dashboard clients as well as the NJ-SCADA clients and the AR-SCADA clients. So what you see here first, these are the remote dashboard tags. So this channel has been defined as a bar channel, and it consists of these ignition tags. These are the fully qualified tag paths of the ignition parameters tags that will be driving this bar chart on a remote dashboard through PubNub Cloud. Now this is another packet which defines a pie chart, and these are the tags that will be displayed in a pie chart. Now this is the parameters tags for the trend chart. These are the fully qualified path names, tag paths of the ignition parameter that will be defined in the chart. And this is the channel for the gauge, and this is the channel for the NJ-SCADA and the AR-SCADA screens. So you have to list out all the ignition tags that may be used in some screen or the other on NJ-SCADA screen or AR-SCADA screen. So any of these parameters can be displayed onto NJ-SCADA screens or AR-SCADA screens. So the list can be very large, and this defines the alarm limits for each tag. So this tag is in state 1 if its value is greater than 75, it's in state 2 if its value is greater than 80, and so forth and so on. So if some tag doesn't have an alarm limit, you can just leave it blank, as in this case. And if some tag is having logical or a binary Boolean value, then these parameters can be defined as equal to true or equal to false or equal to start or equal to trip, things like that. And these are the states. Now this is the tag path file, which is read by the ignition server, the gateway communication module, as soon as you start it, and it sets the packet, forms the packet, and it sends communication with the NJ-SCADA server periodically to update the data onto NJ-SCADA server, which in turn updates its clients. So apart from that, there is another configuration file. This is called NJ-config file, which defines the configuration of the NJ-SCADA server. Now this is a JSON file. The parameter online defines whether we want to start NJ-SCADA to communicate with the ignition or to run it offline. If it's in offline, some 10 tag parameters, tag 0 to tag 10, are driven by NJ-SCADA in a simulation mode, and they are displayed onto the NJ-SCADA clients. The flag PubNub 0 or 1 indicates whether you want the NJ-SCADA to send parameters to the PubNub cloud or not for remote clients. remotely monitoring the NJ-SCADA and AR-SCADA screens through PubNub on a remote device. So in our case, we are starting the PubNub client as well. So NJ-SCADA will send the packets to the PubNub. Now LAN setting it 1 or 0 means whether you want NJ-SCADA to drive the local clients on LAN and VPN or not. Most of the cases we will be using LAN, but PubNub is optional. If you don't want a remote monitoring feature, you need not drive the NJ-SCADA to write to the PubNub cloud. Now host is the host name of Ignition server. In our case, we have installed the NJ-SCADA on the same server as Ignition, so the host name can be localhost. Otherwise, you have to give the actual name of the host on the LAN where the Ignition is installed. And NJ port is the port of NJ-SCADA where the MSCADA and AR-SCADA clients will connect to NJ-SCADA on a LAN. Debug is a flag which display, if we set to 1, it will display some intermediate values on the NJ-SCADA screen for the purpose of debugging. Pub key and sub key are the publish and subscribe key of the PubNub, which you have to obtain by creating an account on the PubNub and obtaining keys for yourself. Now the PubNub is based on subscription model, so you are charged based on number of messages that you send and receive, but the limit is very high. Almost 1 million messages are free every month, so practically it's infinite and it's very cheap. A license key is the license key for the NJ-SCADA itself. If you have got a license version, you have to put it here, otherwise it will run for 2 hours and stop. So these are the configuration files, and now we have to start the NJ-SCADA server through this nodemon command, or you can directly start using node.js. Now as you can see, the NJ-SCADA server has started, and it is sending the packets to the local clients as well as to the PubNub server every 5 seconds. So this is the time in seconds, and this next flag indicates whether you are on offline or online. 0 means you are offline, and the third parameter is number of clients connected. So right now there are no local clients, so it is displaying 0, and the last parameter is the execution time for processing every cycle of execution of the NJ-SCADA. So it is 19 milliseconds, 5 milliseconds. So this time includes time to fetch the data from Ignition and send it to the local clients of NJ-SCADA as well as on the PubNub server. And this time also includes the archival historization time. So all the parameters that are being sent, all the packets that are being sent onto the NJ-SCADA and the PubNub cloud are also being stored onto local database with a timestamp. So this is the NJ-SCADA server, and now we can start the local client. For that we have to say localhost 3000. Now it will ask you to log in username and a password. and it'll ask you the project name. Now this project name is the default project name as stored on the NJ-SCADA server. Now NJ-SCADA has server has received the project name, and it has sent a JSON file giving the configuration of the MSCADA client screen. Now there is a separate video which displays which explains the components of that are used, that can be used on the MSCADA clients to configure your SCADA screens. So basically these are components such as the static text. This is the dial, and this is the table, this multi-page tables, and the buttons and the spinners, and some P&I components such as valves and the graphics like the lines and circles and squares and rectangles, using which you can make a P&I diagram. So there's a separate video which explains how to use how to configure this MSCADA. So basically this is a sort of menu using which you can configure a parameter, and then you can move it and you can edit it. For example, you can change the text and things like that. So I will not go into details of this configuration in this video because there is a separate video available and more features are being added into this editor. So this editor is available to only the admin users who have access, read-write access. For normal users, the editing feature will not be available. For example, by clicking this edit, we can disable the editing. So this is how the screen will look like for a normal user. He cannot do any changes. He can only monitor and control the plant, but not edit the this configuration. And after editing, you can save using this button. Save the thing, and it will ask the project name. You can save it as something else, and the edited project gets saved onto the NJ's SCADA server. So this is the MSCADA client. Now let's have a look at the AR SCADA. So to start AR SCADA, basically you have to give the local host and /AR. So through the router module of NJ-SCADA, it will display you this HTML page. This is the only HTML page in the whole system. Rest are all SVG based clients, and this page displays the various systems of your plant. So if I click on this, again I have to log in. This is a single page application, so for authentication I have to log in once, and yeah, the corresponding augmented reality screen is displayed, and the same type of parameters are which are available in MSCADA screen are also available in AR SCADA screen. So you can configure, you can display the parameters of the plant at actual locations, physical locations of the sensors and actuators and equipment. And it has also a facility to show hide the component, as well as it has this button component using which you can operate the plant there was a lag to increase this because the screen is updated every 5 seconds, so it takes some time to fetch the data. But if we can change the refresh cycle to every 1 second, so it will become very fast. So these are the augmented reality screens. So I can navigate into some other system. So as you can see, we can visualize the plant through this augmented reality skills. And this uses a third-party tool, KR Pano. So we would recommend you to go through the website of krpano.com, and it has got some examples. It gives you a free download of eval version which runs perpetually, but only thing is that it leaves this watermark. So once you install the um, demo, you can just execute the examples over there. So there are a variety of examples available. Animated hotspots, how to create this kind of hotspots and things like that. You can go back. There are various types of demos available which show features of KRPano. So we'll highly recommend you to please download an eval version of this and play with the examples. So our AR-SCADA package uses the KRPano plugin, and that has to be configured in a similar manner. So this is, for example, our Node.js project. So it has got a resources folder wherein you have to put all your project folders. So this has to be as copied from the AR-SCADA example projects. And this is the place where all the plugins that are used by our AR-SCADA components, the level meters and bars and the buttons and dials, they are all available over here. So we have to just copy it as it is and insert our 3D images into one of these folders. See, panels. So it's very easy to configure. It's just to show you the structure. So this is our AR-SCADA screens, and what we have here, this is the dashboard screen. This doesn't use any it is a simple plain HTML page. Yeah, this is a simple HTML page where the dashboard components, PubNub components have to be configured. Yeah, I think maybe I can show you. Yeah, this sort of a file is there where you have to define what are the various divisions where you define the panels and what are the tags that are driving this the charts. So it's a very simple HTML file. You can invoke it from any remote client, and it will instantiate a PubNub client and start communicating with the PubNub server, that is NJ-SCADA server, and fetch the parameters from ignition and display it. So you can use it in any of your web applications. So in a similar way, you can monitor the M-SCADA screens as well as the AR-SCADA screens from any remote location using PubNub. And this is the status window showing the status of the AR-SCADA screen, your username, your access, whether you are online with the NJ-SCADA server or not. And this is the cycle time and the time remaining, etc. So I think this more or less covers all the features. And there are separate videos available for giving detailed procedure for configuring these M-SCADA screens as well as the AR-SCADA screens. So I think that more or less covers the features. So thanks for watching.